Hey, happy Sunday. I hope your weekend was good. Let's get into the market musings. Let's talk about some stocks here from going into next week. So, the first in line is Airbnb, and this is 1 year daily chart. And on 24th August, we saw this big surge or a spike in the price for Airbnb, and then right after that, it corrected a bit. Most likely, the traders who got in here and here, they were taking some profits, and probably the traders who were trapped here, they were also trying to flatten their positions as quickly as possible. What I was looking at it was that during this correction, will it hold above this volume shelf? And it looks like it did. So on Friday, uh, we saw that it bounced right above my fib level, that is 151. Now the interesting part is that I've drawn two VWAPs. So I've also started including VWAPs, anchored VWAPs in my trading system. And I always, the one that never changes is the year to date, which is the white line here. And the other one that I have is from the swing low. And my intuition says that most likely we might experience some sort of VWAP squeeze, which is the price start ranging between these two. And what I really want to see is a break above the upper VWAP, which is the YTD year to date VWAP, and test all the way till 169, 170 level. So that's the upper limit that I'm looking at. The interesting bit is that um, the volume point of control is actually above the 55 MA and this VWAP of swing low. So let's see how the market plays out next week. And again, I'm looking at the value area high of the volume profile, which is resting right at 170. So it's a really good confluence in terms of price target. So yeah, that's about Airbnb. Now let's switch to the PLTR. PLTR again. Let me just quickly change the VWAP setting to this date, which is 5/11. So when it comes to the anchored VWAP, I like to take a look at the swing low, so that paints a really nice perspective for me. So we are changing to 5/11. And PLTR again is very interesting because it's sitting right at bottom. So there are a few things going on with PLTR. And I know that it's very popular, highly popular amongst the retail trader. I was looking at some fundamentals and I've seen some institutional increase as well. The number of funds have increased dramatically uh, when you compare the last 2 quarters. So lots of good thing going on. And as far as the technicals are concerned, the price is resting right above the volume point of control, which is a good sign for me always. And the interesting bit is that this is what a VWAP squeeze looks like. So you see how you have this year-to-date anchored VWAP acting as some sort of resistance, at least for the last 1 week. But then at the same time, when I draw this swing low anchored VWAP, it has started to forming a base. And the price is acting out a really tight consolidation action. And what we are really looking at is a really nice clean break above, I would say 25.5. And we saw that break above 25.5 on Friday. But what I would like to see is a candle which opens above the year-to-date anchor VWAP and then closes above the anchor VWAP. So it kind of gives me that confirmation about potentially a new uptrend, at least. And so the upside that I'm looking at is the value area high, which is 30, and then a little bit more stretch goal would be somewhere around 34 and 35, which is the balance high. Um, the weekly, again, it looks pretty neat to me. I always look at the weekly as well just to see. And again, if we look at PLTR, we see a very nice, strong confluence, and that is the price is again resting around volume point of control, even for weekly, which we saw in daily as well. So it's a really nice confirmation, and we're just waiting for uh, some some green light from the institutions, which will basically they might be collecting, building their positions. So it's only a matter of time when they build this entire position, and now they're ready to sell at higher ranges. So that's it from PLTR. The next in line for me is Disney. Disney again, I'm starting to see a pattern in my own trading, which is I like the stocks which are ranging right around volume point of control. It's a really nice and clean setup. Again, for the purpose of this conversation, let's update the anchored VWAP to 519. And not surprisingly enough, again, the year-to-date anchored VWAP is potentially a resistance level that Disney should, like, at least I would like to see it break above 181.86. But at the same time, the anchored VWAP from the swing low might start to act as a nice base or support level for Disney. So going into next week, I would like to see again if it starts to squeeze between these two anchored VWAPs, or it breaks nicely with a high volume day above this year to date. And then the price targets on the upside for me is 200, which is the value area high. If you look at the weekly, then again, it even gives a nice clean, like a really visual cue of this VWAP squeeze happening here. Also, one thing to note in weekly is it's forming this high volume node, so which tells me that potentially this could become a big size bid, but can't confirm yet. Only time will tell as it starts to at least trend above this 181.86 level. So that's about Disney. And the other stock that I did not play, but I was a little bummed about that. I did not take the trade was PENN, and I honestly I had this trade on my radar for 2 weeks. I don't know. I'll really have to revisit why I did not take this trade. Maybe I was looking for some sort of confirmation that did not happen. Oh yes, I was actually looking for some options flow coming into it, but that did not happen. So I kept on waiting, and then suddenly it went above. And the interesting part for PENN was I saw this really big size dark pool print coming around at 73. So now I'm going to start paying more attention to dark pool prints as well, because previously I was just focused on options flow. And this is a really nice learning for me as well. So what kind of, like, the key is to really look at different kind of order flows coming into play, not just volume or options flow, but also look at dark pool prints, because now that's a reality as well. So that's a learning for me. But coming back to PENN, let's take the swing low. So I would take 719 as anchored VWAP. If you do that, it looks like it's starting to form a base. The interesting thing here to me is it has cleared the high volume node, the volume point of control already, and it is cleared very nicely. The other interesting bit is the value area high and year-to-date anchored VWAP are kind of aligning together. So to me, it might become, if it clears the 85 level, The next target I'll be looking at is 90. The other interesting bit is the 55 MA is now below the price. And this is something I always watch out for, how it is acting out. So my intuition, just going basically just by observing the previous charts and many charts historically, is it will form some sort of a base and then will start to trend up. So what I would really like to see is a pullback to maybe 78, and then that would potentially will give me a chance to get into this trade. But for now, if it continues to rise up, all well and good. It was just, I'm just covering it just for my own learning and just to capture the observations. So these were the 4 stocks that I had in mind. I have a few more, but I think these 4 were worth mentioning. So that's it from me for this week. If you have any questions or any stock that you would like me to cover purely from technical standpoint, please feel free to drop in. Again, this is not a financial recommendation or financial advice. This is purely for educational purposes. And I always strongly urge everyone to do their own due diligence and not get into the trade blindly, even if there are some really highly prolific traders or experienced traders. Always try to make yourself self-reliant and self-dependent, and it'll keep you in this game for the longer run. And I wish you a really, really nice week moving forward, and stay tuned, and looking forward to hearing your comments and questions.